So you've been seeing denaturalization on the news. The June memo that went out, basically, if somebody is already a US citizen, whether 1 year or 20 years, the government, specifically the Department of Justice, will now be able to initiate court proceedings to strip that individual of their citizenship, and in so doing, return them back to a green card holder or back to a state where they have no legal status in the United States. We're getting calls from clients, existing clients, old clients, new clients, who have been extremely concerned about this news because 5 years ago, because 20 years ago, they naturalized. And they are really afraid that the government is now going after them because everything they're seeing, from student visas getting canceled, from green card holders not being able to come back to the United States, from ICE just picking up people, including US citizens, and now their last protection, they thought they were safe. The government can go after them for some inaccuracy in their naturalization application. Denaturalization is, first of all, not new. It was actually much more popular way back in the day, in the 1940s and the 1950s, but then it largely stopped. You know, it went from like tens of thousands of cases per year of people getting their citizenship stripped to now a trickle, right? Maybe hundreds of cases where people denaturalized in just the past few years. Unlike ICE, USCIS, CBP, the consulate, immigration judges, all of these organizations are not the Department of Justice. They are not part of the federal courts. Their standard and their capacity is remarkably different compared to an official Department of Justice investigation and the federal courts. They have so many important issues that they have to deal with. The civil division on stripping away people's citizenship, that is a very small part of their job, and they have a huge list. When you have a long list of hundreds of thousands of people that they're supposed to go after, and you're supposed to target the top criminals, very likely, if your naturalization case was only a small mishap, you didn't provide the correct information, but you don't have major criminal records, you are not on the highest priority with the Department of Justice. Let's say the worst case does happen. Unfortunately, your time is up. The Department of Justice issues you this denaturalization appearance. Now you have to go through this trial. During the entire trial, inevitably you're going to discuss what are all the equities why you belong in the United States, and even if your citizenship is revoked, how else can you get your status back? How can you get a new green card? Are your children U.S. citizen? Is your spouse a U.S. citizen? Do you have parents who are U.S. citizen? Can somebody else petition you? Can you get paroled back into the U.S.? And if you can, why waste government resources to force you to go through this entire process again? This argument, this line of reasoning, is very similar to the cancellation of removal argument, whether it's under 42A or 42B in immigration courts. Right? In immigration court, somebody might have a green card or somebody might be illegal, but if you can establish enough ties and equities in the United States, though you may be deportable, the immigration judge will still grant you a green card. So I want people to kind of understand that. If you've gotten a citizenship and there's things in your application that keeps you up at night because there was some inaccuracy and you're afraid the government is now going to go after you, just take everything into context. Now, why is this coming up? Why are we doing these type of consultations? Because people got their citizenship and maybe they are in process of petitioning their children to come over that have aged out. Maybe they are petitioning their brothers and sisters. Maybe they are a sponsor for somebody else financially, and now they are concerned of pulling back because they don't want the government to look into their application, because now they are in fear. And I just want people to kind of understand the context of the situation, because fear is largely irrational. The most dangerous thing about fear is that paralyzes needed resources and energy that will actually save you from what you are afraid of. If you are a citizen and you are petitioning your spouse or your children so that they can get citizenship, or a green card at least, and you don't do it because of, a typo you made on your citizenship application, and let's say years later somehow you end up getting denaturalized, well, who could have saved you? It was your spouse and your children, if you have proven that they have gotten a green card and they can be there with you, right? So that's what I recommend, right? If your case is good, if it's a minor mistake that could probably get corrected, don't let that paralyze you from petitioning others, from being a sponsor, from going on, and from living your best life. Whether you're a citizen or you're a green card holder, same idea. Because at the end of the day, the Department of Justice, based on all of their rules and procedures, one thing they do look at is, should we go after such an individual? There's a lot of due process, there's a lot of oversight, there's not likely to be the same type of mistake as you see from the other branches of government, such as ICE, where they accidentally detain US citizens or they accidentally detain green card holders for a very long time. And with all the measures in place that will protect against that, I also don't believe that will happen. Now, I have a lot of faith in our government, and so maybe you're saying I'm too optimistic, but I just want to give you the facts. It is not the same agencies that are going to be denaturalizing as what you're seeing on the news. And second, and most importantly, because of my experience as an immigration lawyer and because I've been going to these immigration conferences and because I know what has happened in the past 30, 40, 50 years, I can say affirmatively that there are people who have gotten citizenships that shouldn't have gotten citizenship. I'm not talking about small mistakes. I'm talking about fraud, I'm talking about bribery, I'm talking about these major issues that we have seen over the years. USCIS officers getting busted because they took in bribes and approved green cards. People who have taken bribes and approved citizenships. If you've been in this industry long enough, you've seen that happen. So, with all that being said, I hope people can see this in a much more rational light. I don't recommend getting it confused with the same efforts that we're seeing with this same administration about canceling birthright citizenship and about canceling student visas and also canceling people who are green card holders. It is not the same, in my opinion, from what I've studied. On the ground, every day, we are seeing people concerned about this and calling and doing consultations. And so I want to share this information. I want to share these videos with other people so maybe they don't have to do the consultation. Hopefully giving people the context that they need to be able to sleep better.